The baseball world recently lost one of its quiet giants. Ryne Sandberg, the Hall of Fame second baseman who helped redefine the position with grace, grit, and consistency, passed away at the age of 65. Death is not just a loss for Cubs fans or baseball historians. It's a deeply felt silence in a game that he once played with poetic rhythm. But Sandberg's story wasn't about noise. His greatness whispered. His legacy, though, roars. Born on the September 18, 1959, in Spokane, Washington, Ryne Sandberg, named after relief pitcher Ryne, was destined to wear the glove. From a young age, his athletic ability was apparent. He excelled in multiple sports at North Central High School and initially committed to play quarterback for Washington State University. But baseball had other plans. Drafted in the 20th round of the 1978 MLB draft by the Philadelphia Phillies, Sandberg was far from being considered a franchise savior. He was seen more as a promising athlete than a sure thing. Yet in the minor leagues, his calm demeanor and work ethic began to quietly impress coaches. Still, no one knew just how significant he would become, especially not the Phillies. In a move that would become one of the most lopsided trades in baseball history, the Chicago Cubs acquired Sandberg in 1982 as a throw-in in a deal that sent Larry Bowa to Chicago and Ivan DeJesus to Philly. The Cubs wanted the veteran Bowa. The Phillies didn't think much of Sandberg. That trade changed the course of two franchises and elevated Sandberg to icon status in the Windy City. In 1982, Ryne Sandberg made his Cubs debut. His rookie season was solid, but it was in 1984 that he exploded into the national spotlight. That year, he batted .314, hit 19 home runs, and drove in 84 runs, winning the National League MVP award. But it was one game that season that truly announced his arrival. On June 23, 1984, in a nationally televised game against the St. Louis Cardinals, Sandberg hit two game-tying home runs off the great Bruce Sutter, one in the 9th and one in the 10th inning. The Cubs won in extra innings, and Sandberg's performance, 5 hits, 7 RBIs, became so iconic that it's now simply known as the Sandberg Game. From that point on, no one questioned his status as a superstar. But it wasn't just the bat. Sandberg redefined what it meant to be a second baseman. Traditionally seen as a defensive position with little offensive firepower, Sandberg changed that narrative. He led the league in home runs by a second baseman multiple times. Over his career, he hit 282 home runs, a record at the time for his position. He had 9 Gold Gloves, 7 Silver Slugger awards, and was a 10-time All-Star. On the field, he was smooth, dependable, and always in the right place at the right time. Yet Sandberg was never flashy. He wasn't loud. He didn't crave attention. He let his game speak, and it spoke volumes. He ran out every ground ball. He made the hard plays look routine. He rarely showed emotion, even in moments of triumph. But behind that calm exterior was a ferocious competitor, driven by discipline and an unrelenting love for the game. One of the most remarkable things about Sandberg was his consistency. For a full decade, he was the beating heart of the Cubs, showing up every day, giving the same effort whether the team was winning or losing. He led the league in runs, extra base hits, and even stolen bases among infielders. He had 4 seasons with over 30 stolen bases, showing that his power came with speed. And then, in 1994, at age 34, Sandberg shocked the baseball world. He walked away from the game. The Cubs were struggling. He wasn't happy with his performance. Most players might cling on for a few more years to chase stats or money. Not Sandberg. He believed that if he couldn't play to his high standards, he shouldn't play at all. But his love for baseball couldn't be silenced. In 1996, after a year away, he returned. Though he wasn't the same all-star he once was, his presence still lifted the team and fans. He retired for good in 1997, leaving behind a legacy built on integrity, work ethic, and quiet greatness. Post-retirement, Sandberg stayed close to the game. He worked his way through the minor leagues as a manager, coaching young talent with the same dedication he had as a player. He briefly managed the Philadelphia Phillies in the majors, but it was clear that his heart always belonged to the Cubs. In 2005, Sandberg was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. His speech was classic Ryne, humble, measured, focused on fundamentals and respect for the game. I was in awe every day I walked onto the field, he said. That humility endeared him even more to fans who had followed his journey. Beyond the stats and accolades, Ryne Sandberg represented an era of baseball where playing the right way mattered. He didn't chase headlines. He never needed controversy to be interesting. He simply did his job exceptionally well and inspired thousands by doing so. His number 23 was retired by the Cubs, and his bronze statue now stands proudly outside Wrigley Field, a silent reminder of the greatness he embodied. His passing in 2025 sent shockwaves through the baseball community. Tributes poured in from former teammates, opponents, fans, and young players who had never seen him play but knew his name. Because greatness like Sandberg's doesn't fade, it's passed down, taught, and remembered. Even those who never watched him live can learn from his style. The way he fielded ground balls, the way he stayed back on pitches, the way he carried himself, never bigger than the game. In today's sports world, filled with noise, ego, and flash, Sandberg's legacy is a quiet lesson in dignity and determination. In the end, Ryne Sandberg wasn't just a Hall of Famer. He was a standard. He was proof that you don't have to shout to be heard. That greatness, when built on discipline and respect, will echo through time louder than any bat flip or viral moment. The man who once hit 2 game-tying home runs against a Hall of Fame closer now rests, leaving behind a life that inspired both on and off the field. For Cubs fans, he wasn't just a player, he was family. For baseball, he wasn't just a second baseman, he was a revolution. As the sun sets over Wrigley Field, the number 23 will never be worn again. But in the hearts of fans, Ryne Sandberg will always be there, turning double plays, hitting line drives, and reminding us all how beautiful baseball can be when played with heart.